What's at stake with 3 local TV stations under one umbrella? The recent announcement regarding the merger of companies owning local television stations poses significant ramifications across the United States, particularly in Des Moines, where one entity could control 3 local channels, including 2 of the top 3 ranked in the area. Nexstar is already the leading owner of local television stations nationwide, boasting a portfolio exceeding 200 channels. Among these, they own WHO-TV Channel 13 in Des Moines. Their recent plans to acquire Tegna, which controls 64 stations, including WOI-TV Channel 5 and KCWI-TV Channel 23 in Des Moines, are turning heads. To offer some context, Tegna was spun off from Gannett in 2015. At that time, Gannett faced severe declines in newspaper profits, which were adversely affecting the value of its more profitable television assets. This prompted the company to separate its print and broadcast operations for better management. If the merger receives regulatory approval, Nexstar's portfolio could balloon to an impressive count of around 265 stations. This consolidation would also challenge long-standing ownership limits established by the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, which for years have prevented any single owner from controlling too much of the market. According to existing regulations, no television station owner can reach more than 39% of households across the U.S. Additionally, there are restrictions on owning 2 of the top 4 rated stations in a given market. So if Nexstar wishes to hold on to both WHO and WOI ranked 2nd and 3rd in Des Moines, respectively, it will need special approval from federal regulators. The evolving landscape of television. Over the years, station owners have increasingly called for a reevaluation of these ownership limits. They argue that the rise of tech giants like Meta, Facebook, and Google has led to significant losses in advertising revenue for local stations, rendering the restrictions outdated and unfairly restrictive in a changing market. Ted Stevens, a retired general manager from KDSM-TV in Des Moines, remarked that television streaming has diverted many viewers away from traditional broadcasting channels. He noted the broadcast business model has completely deteriorated over the last few years. Mergers like Nexstar-Tegna are expected as a means of ensuring the survival of many underperforming stations. However, critics of media consolidation stress that such mergers result in a loss for local communities. Fewer independent stations often lead to a decline in varied perspectives and voices in local reporting, especially when it comes to news coverage that directly affects residents. A controversial shift in regulations. Brendan Carr, the chair of the Federal Communications Commission during President Donald Trump's administration, has consistently promoted the idea of loosening or eliminating these ownership caps. His influence means that significant changes could soon be on the horizon. What could happen next? If Nexstar secures permission to keep WHO, WOI, and KCWI, 3 potential scenarios could unfold. 1. Rejection from the FCC. Regulators might determine that the merger creates too much concentration and require Nexstar to divest one of the stations to another company. 2. Status quo. Nexstar could effectively manage all 3 stations while maintaining their distinct operations, newsrooms, and staff, thereby operating them independently. 3. Increased consolidation. Nexstar might opt to combine certain station operations, cutting costs. This could lead to the cancellation of WOI's separate newscasts, broadcasting WHO's news programming instead, or, at the very least, result in a shared reporting team that produces content for both channels. Why you should care? Should one company control WHO, WOI, and KCWI, the implications could extend to advertising dynamics. Such consolidation may enable the owner to raise advertising rates, which local businesses, like car dealerships and grocery stores, would likely oppose. Another pressing concern involves potential blackouts. When negotiations between cable or streaming providers, like YouTube TV, and station owners break down, viewers sometimes lose access to channels for extended periods. For example, WOI experienced a complete blackout on Mediacom for an entire year over a retransmission dispute. With all three stations potentially under Nexstar's control, the company would possess even more negotiating power. If talks fail, viewers could be left in the dark regarding not just one channel, but three. It's crucial to emphasize that these outcomes are not set in stone. The Nexstar-Tegna merger must pass through various regulatory approvals before becoming a reality. However, pressure is steadily building, from broadcasters pushing for further consolidation, regulators reconsidering outdated rules in our digital era, and viewers and local businesses caught in the midst of these changes. This situation might just be the first wave of many significant changes to come. The future of the media landscape in Des Moines, and potentially across the country, could look quite different in the near future. Feel free to share your thoughts. Do you believe that smaller, independent stations can survive in today's market? Or do you think consolidations like Nexstar's are essential for the industry's survival? We'd love to hear your take in the comments. Our articles can be republished online or in print under the Creative Commons license CC by NC/ND 4.0. We kindly request that you edit only for style or length, provide proper attribution, and link back to our website. Note that images from AP and Getty cannot be republished. For additional guidelines on republishing, please visit our official site.